Welcome back to Las Vegas, America's gathering place every weekend on Fox for NASCAR racing. The NASCAR Nextel Cup Series, as Casey Kane has just retaken the lead on lap 42. This is a Visa race break, and we are under caution. And as you've often seen, spectacular crashes, the drivers walk away safely. Jeff Hammond is at the Ford cutaway car with his WebMD safety report.
See, roller accidents are very spectacular. You see all the sheet metal flying away, the sparks, and you really think this driver has got to be injured. Let me tell you why he's not. It's because of the structural integrity of the NASCAR cars that they drive. The 1 3/4 tubing that surrounds them, the halo bar that protects them when a car is upside down, is an important part of this race car. As you can see right here, 1 3/4 steel tubing that is supported up to the halo bar that goes above the driver's head. So in the event you are upside down, it doesn't collapse on top of you. The cocoon that he sits inside of, as we saw Carl Long sliding down the back straightaway at Rockingham, the seat itself kept his head from flopping around and getting injured. The seat also helps to keep your body contained within the car along with the seat belts. And in the event the car does flip upside down and rights itself and you need to make a quick escape, we've also got a pop-out hatch that comes out. And guess what, folks? You can jump out and let the crowd know you're okay.
And you can do that going to victory lane, as Michael Waltrip did. All right, Jimmy Johnson is back in for another stop. Jeff Green is being penalized to the end of the line because they used more than 2 air wrenches on his pit stop. When one air wrench breaks, you're supposed to finish the pit stop with the other one that's already over the wall. Here's Jeannie in Jimmy Johnson's pit.
And we'll see if the third time will be the charm for Jimmy Johnson as they're breaking out the tape, trying to repair that damaged right front fender. Guys, the ironic part here is crew chief Chad Canals for the 48 car and Tim Brewer from Kevin LePage were actually in communications prior to that. Big thumbs up. They look out for each other, and Tim Brewer telling his driver, Kevin LePage, look, I don't know what happened. Once they dropped the jack on the 48, they stopped paying attention to us.
Getting ready to go green. Johnny Benson was the car that got the free pass. The first car 1 lap down, so he comes back up onto the lead lap, and James finishes on.
Now, if they help the 8 car, he is in a position now to start working on getting some of those laps he lost back. That's what you hope for. Have problems, get them fixed, and then get up there and try to get those laps back.
Now, even though he had only pitted about 10 laps before that caution, Dale Earnhardt Jr. along with Ryan Newman elected to come back to pit road, more tires and some more adjustments. Pretty much everybody made a 4-tire stop during that caution.
Yeah, he can't gamble. The 8 car can't gamble on anything right now. He's got to have that car absolutely the best it can be. So if he can get up here and get some of these laps back.
In turn 1, Junior trying to get to being just 1 lap down. Ryan Newman in the 12 trying to get back on the lead lap. Casey Kane having none of that.
And right now, Mike, you asked me in the opening about tire management. Right now, Dale Earnhardt Jr., he don't need to worry about tire management. He needs to get a lap back.
Management class is over.
For right now.
Ryan Newman, apparently the changes they made to that car are going to take a little while to show.
I just think, Mike, some of the things that are happening to some of these guys is that great, big, huge right rear spring that they've been running these cars. They're going to have to get off of that.
But right now, Ryan Newman, even though he's in trouble, he is the first car lap down. If he can get a caution, he'll be back on the lead lap with the pardon and the free pass.
Matt Kenseth has just gone by Elliott Sadler. You see Kenseth, the right of your screen, number 17, to 6th place in the DeWalt Ford.
But the car right in front of him, that 29 cars, we're looking at Ryan Newman in the 12 and Matt Kenseth in the 17. Look at Kevin Harvick. That car is working right around the bottom, and he's been moving up. He started back in 16th. He's up in the top 5. Remember, he did win the Busch race here yesterday.
Yes, he did. But the guy that's back there not too far behind him in that 17 car, he should have won the Busch race yesterday.
As we say, he's a coming.
It's right. Here he is. Look at him diving to the inside. I love it when he gets those left wheels down on that white line. A lot of grip right there.
Yesterday, Kenseth had the lead, and a car bobbled, got into the side of him, and knocked Kenseth out of contention. He finished, but not well. Our Busch Series champ, Brian Vickers, has just gotten by Elliott Sadler for 8th place. Let's go to his pit.
Brian Vickers, the highest running Hendrick car, trying to work on Bobby Labonte. His car was extremely loose. They made a significant track bar adjustment, 3 rounds down on that 25 car to try to tighten him up. He said it was extremely loose in, and it was scary off.
That's the right adjustment. Run that track bar down till she drags the earth.
50 laps this time by.
You know, we've been talking about movers and goers. Let's go back to that 24 car. Jeff Gordon, remember, after the engine change, he had to go to the rear of the field. He has moved up to the 16th position. His pit crew helped him quite a bit on his pit stop, but he's been doing a great job out there on the racetrack as well, Steve Burns.
Hey, Larry Mack, as I said right before the pit stop, he was bad loose in turns 3 and 4, so they dropped the track bar 1 round, and they made an air pressure adjustment in the right rear tire.
Larry, you know good and well, he ain't bad loose, or they'd be dropping it more than 1 round. I'm telling you, you got to work on that thing.
Tony Stewart is there. Goes underneath Kurt Busch. This is for 2nd place, and just ahead is the race lead. The Home Depot Chevy bearing down on Ray Evernham's Dodge for the front spot.
And you just knew, even though they struggled at Rockingham, even though they struggled at the test, Tony Stewart in the 20 car, that he was going to come here, and when this racetrack got slick, he was going to be good. I mean, in his 5 starts here, he has 3 top 5 finish. Right now, he's wanting to take the lead of this race.
And I have to give a lot of credit, and I think part of the success of that team is the shock expert that they have over there.
Ronnie Crooks.
Ronnie Crooks, Doctor Who, they call him. And he can cook up some weird shocks.
Here are the biggest movers of the race so far. Matt Kenseth and Jeff Gordon each have gained 20 positions from where they started. Remember, Gordon had to go to the back with that damage and engine change. Dick Berggren on Tony Stewart.
Well, if you've been around all weekend, you might wonder how Tony Stewart is doing this well. After all, he qualified 19th. He was 18th in the 2nd practice, 23rd in happy hour. So this morning I talked to his car chief, Scott Deal, and I said, how is this? He said, not to worry about that number 20 car. This has been a perfectly smooth, perfectly fine weekend. I talked to Stewart before the start of the race. He was light, he was breezy, he was easy, and he was optimistic.
Sterling Marlin, the Coors Light Dodge, unexpectedly on pit road. Matt?
A possible tire going down for Sterling Marlin. Came on the radio, so it just feels that we've got something going down. While here, they're going to make a track bar adjustment. You can see the register back windows. Tony Stewart makes a move on one of his proteges, Casey Kane, as the work continues on the left side of Sterling Marlin's car, and he's down and away.
Matt talked about proteges as Stewart powers into the lead. There was, for a time, you wanted an ASA driver in your Cup car. For a time, then you wanted a modified driver or a Busch Series graduate. Darrell, why now does everybody want one of these young open-wheel standouts? Jeff Gordon, Tony Stewart, now Casey Kane.
These cars are very, very difficult to drive. I know they don't always look like it, but they're twitchy. They got 800 horsepower. You're trying to hook that up to these slick racetracks. And I believe that that's some of that car control that these guys gain running the sprint cars, running on tracks like Eldora, riding on that right rear. I believe there's something that they transfer from that kind of racing into Cup racing today that some of us in the past didn't have to deal with. That big right rear spring and riding off that right rear tire. We used to ride off the right front. Now these guys are riding off the right rear, making the cars turn off the right rear. We always made it turn off the right front. They've learned to make it turn off the right rear, which makes it really bad fast.
Tony Stewart, one of only 2 drivers who's raced here in both Nextel Cup and the Indy Racing League. Now the Singular Wireless virtual crew chief question. Vote now from your Singular Wireless phone. Send text message Fox to phone number 191 or visit foxsports.com to vote online. I said Stewart was one. Was the other Jason Leffler? Did run in all the different divisions that have raced here.
Yeah, even trucks, IRL, and the whole 9 yards. But he never won a pole. That's an inside joke, folks.
I'll tell you what, Tony Stewart in that 20 car right now, where his car is working so good, Darrell, is when he's right, it's where it works. Right around the bottom. He almost hangs those left side tires below that line.
What I like, you can tell that Casey's got some veterans working with him because they're telling him right now, follow the 20 car and see what he's doing. And that's what it appears to me like he's doing. He's staying with him, going to stay with him and see where he's running for later reference.
Matt, how about Sterling Marlin? Was that tire cut?
The crew checked over all 4 tires, Mike, and this is the right rear off Sterling Marlin's Dodge. They circled a small little pinhole. When they hit their pressures, it was severely down on pressures and continuing to go down.
And right now he is about a lap and 3/4 behind our leader Tony Stewart in the 20, as we see a battle right here between Kevin Harvick in the 29, Matt Kenseth in the 17. That's a battle for 4th, but they are zeroing in on that 97 car. Kurt Busch is in 3rd.
Kurt's really, Kurt's got his hands full. His car it's fast, but he's really having to work hard to keep it up there.
59 laps complete in the UAW-Daimler Chrysler 400 in Las Vegas. Tony Stewart leading Casey Kane, Kurt Busch, Kevin Harvick, and Matt Kenseth.